So now that we're in the page designer itself, what we're going to do is start getting acquainted with where everything is so that we can feel a little bit more confident using the page designer itself to build out and design our pages. So we've got our template applied, and obviously where all of this content is where you're going to build out the actual design of your pages, where you're going to customize and add content and get everything aligned with your messaging and brand. We're going to go into each element in detail as we go through this training series. For right now, we're not going to really touch on that. We're just going to get acquainted with how to use the overall page designer. So let's have a look at the top navigation panel here. The first item we have is our add button. And if you click on this, you'll have the option to add either content or change the page template. So to add content, this is where you're going to add headings, texts, images, buttons, whatever content element you need to add to your page, you'll be able to add it here. You'll also be able to add structural elements like blocks, rows, columns, and containers to your page as well. And those are the items that actually hold the content of your pages. All right, but we're going to get into layout and content modules in more detail as we go. All right, so that is how you can add those to your page. If you want to change your template, you can click add and change your page template and choose from the different template packs. All right, but I'm going to leave it as is. All right, the next item we have is our navigator. This is going to allow you to navigate not only through the different layers of your page. So you'll see here we've got our page body, then we've got the hero section, and within this hero section you can see the different items. So we have our statistics container and the items within that statistics container, and that's got our duration over here, and you can go in and select exactly which item you want to work on. All right, I'm actually clicking, I think, on the top items over there. All right, but so that is how the layers section is going to help you. It's going to help you not only keep everything organized, but also to easily navigate to the items on your pages that you need to customize. But you can also navigate to the different pages of your webinar. So we've got our register page, but we can navigate over to our confirmation page and start editing it here. We don't have to click out or go anywhere else. We can navigate to our waiting room. So you can go through each page and design it as you need to. Lastly, over here, we also have our components, but I'm going to touch on components in its own video, so don't worry about that right now. All right, and then we have our styles. This is where you're going to manage your overall style set. So you'll manage your different typography sets and your brand colors. So again, I'm going to go into creating and managing styles in its own video. All right, then we have our pop-ups. This is where you will create and manage pop-ups. All right, then in the middle section over here, we have our different device views. So we have our desktop view, we have our tablet view, and we have our mobile view. And so this is where you will go into each device to optimize your designs for the different devices. Again, I'm going to go into this in its own video. All right, then over here on the right-hand side, we have our help desk, our dark and light mode, our global settings. So that's going to take you over here to manage your websites where you can add your logo, favicon, website name, and other settings. All right, let's navigate back. And then over here, we have our preview mode. So you'll be able to see what your page looks like and click on the buttons and see what happens in your preview mode. And then over here, we have our history. So you'll be able to undo or redo changes to your page, and you'll be able to view your page history and restore previous versions of pages. But again, I'm going to get into that in more detail. Lastly, we have our publish button. And when you're happy with the changes you've made to your page, you'll hit publish and publish all of the changes that have been made across the different pages of your funnel. When you go ahead and publish that, those changes will be published and live to your audience. All right, so we're going to get started with the actual structure of our pages in the next video. I'm going to show you how you can start building out your pages from the ground up. I'll see you there.